Hello guys, hello again. So we still just keep going on our course, teachers training course. As I informed you before, so we know that we are all busy, so that's why I'm not showing. So anyway, so we'll come back again. We're still discussing about teachers training course, okay? Because last time we already discussed about the students, we discussed about the school, all the things we already discussed about them. So today we are going just to discuss about the teacher, because we already discussed about the three triangles regarding teaching, which mostly on the teacher and the school and the student. So we already discussed about the student, we discussed about the school, and now we are just going to discuss about the teacher. Okay, so for you as a teacher, okay, this is like a simple question. Okay, for you as a teacher, before you come to teach a student, there are some things that you have to know them. Then after that, you can just come and teach. So we all know this, that you cannot teach without knowing the basic knowledge of teaching. That you know how you can deliver your message, all these things. Without knowing this, you cannot just be a teacher, right? Okay, today we are going just to discuss about a teacher and what teacher needs to teach and so on. Okay, we keep going on. Okay, what a teacher needs to teach? It's a simple question, right? Before you just come to a field of teaching, so there are something that you should know. The first thing is that you have to be familiar with the subject, right? This is the first thing, that you should be familiar with what? You should be familiar with the subject. And it's something very clear that you have to be familiar with the subject. This is the first thing. You should be familiar with the subject. Then after that, you can teach. Like for example, I'm an English teacher. Okay, I cannot just come and teach maybe what we call math or Arabic language and so on, because I don't have enough knowledge for that subject. Even if you are going to do, so you will teach, it's okay, but you are not going to perform as the same as the subject teacher, right? So you have to be familiar with the subject. This is the first thing, okay? Second thing, you should have enough knowledge, okay, for the subject. As a teacher, you should know enough knowledge. When we say enough knowledge, at least it has to be the basic knowledge. Like for example, I'm English teacher, okay? I'm an English teacher, so I should know the basic things like the tenses, like how I have to build my sentence, how I have to make like this and like that. So I should know the basic knowledge of the things that I'm going to teach. Okay, and after that, knowing the basic knowledge, so it might not make you like effective teacher, right? Because we know that there is effective teacher and ineffective teacher. Knowing a basic knowledge, it's not that enough also. So you should get enough knowledge for the subject. So as long as you're having enough knowledge, then it's okay. Now you can teach. This is the second point. Third point, so you have to collect necessary data before the lesson. What do we mean by that? So this one, it will just take us to the lesson plan, right? So for a teacher, you should make your lesson plan. You arrange your all things, you collect your data, you collect your flashcards, you collect your worksheets, whatever you need. If you are going to use PowerPoint, you are going to use a video, so make sure that you collect all your data before you entering a class, okay? Otherwise, you will go to a class without preparation, and then you will just be looking around where I can find this one. So, and your class will be in mess. For sure, the class will be in mess. So that's why you have to collect necessary data before starting the lesson, okay? So, moving on. So the next one is that prepare the lesson. Yeah, this is what? Preparation, okay? Prepare the lesson. This is mean lesson plan also. So you should know how to move while you are teaching, okay? Where you have to start, where you have to move. So all these things, when you are inside a class, so as a teacher, you should know all of these things. Like this is what we call lesson plan or lesson segmentation. That you should know the plan of your lesson, where I have to start, when I have to move, how I have to ask the students, and all these things, you should know them. Okay, so meaning that prepare the lesson before you go. Collect your data you should know, you should just have enough knowledge for the subject, and you have to be familiar with the subject. Okay, the next step is that follow steps to progress the lesson. Okay, follow steps to progress the lesson, meaning that if you just enter a class, so you cannot just start from A, you jumped to C, or you go to D, or from A to Z directly. No, you have to go steps by steps, that I'm going from here, then this is the next step, okay, then this is the next step, so that the students will follow you one by one. It's not like you just go and jump. It's not a matter of jumping, that I'm starting from A, directly I will go to Z. No. You have to follow a simple steps that will help to progress the lesson until you finish. You cover all of them. You will cover all of them going A, B, C until you reach Z. That is the point. So you have to follow steps to progress the lesson. Okay. The last thing is that maintain teacher's personality. Okay. For you as a teacher, before you go and teach a student, so you have to make sure that you have a personality of a teacher. What do we mean by personality? Meaning that the way that you speak to students, it has to be a very respectful way. Okay, because you are a teacher, right? The way that you speak to them, it is the same way that they will speak to you. Because we know the kids. We know the kids. How you deal with them, it's the same way that they will deal with you. This is the same. So dealing with them, it has to be in a very clear way, and it's a very respectful way. And even your personality, it has something to do with what? It has something to do with the dress up. The way that you dress, also it has to be like a teacher. Okay? It has to be like a teacher. You have to maintain these things. The way that you talk to them and the way that you're dressing up. And always make sure as a teacher, so that you are wearing up or you're dressing up better than your student. Yeah, this is something must. As a teacher, you should wear better than your student.